Today I want to talk about something that really influenced how I see, stories, how I approach stories and the writing craft in general, and especially when it comes to like analyzing stories or debating about them. Besides, of course, the fact that I'm always more interested in the actual, writing part of it. So, and the story itself and how the plot comes together, as opposed to the philosophical or social or moral messages that are in a story. That's a different thing. But this, what I wanted to tell you about, I think it's going to make sense to many people, especially if you didn't have like a good, literature professor. Because I had a great one in high school. Really, really, I think in general, when it comes to literature, I had luck with professors and teachers. But especially in high school, I had a really, really great professor. And the thing is, she really encouraged us to, she genuinely encouraged us to to read something and then actually express what we got from it and what we saw in it and things like that. And the thing is, you could always say basically whatever you wanted. Oh, in this poem, this poet is actually, just complaining about a sandwich and that's it. Or, oh yeah, he's, I don't know, criticizing his country, I don't know, whatever. Whatever. You could say whatever, but you had to present your argument for it and you had to show where this was, like what in the work made you think that, and then we basically had a debate about that. And I just think that was it was a great way to get us to actually, to actually engage and to think critically, to think not just critically but like mindfully about what we're even reading, and not just to think, okay, what is now the teacher expecting me to say, because oh yeah, the green light symbolizes this and the blue door symbolizes that, whatever, but she actually encouraged us to to say what it seemed like to us. And the example she always used was of that optical illusion. I don't know, I'm looking at it right now on my computer and I will find a picture to put it here. It's this optical illusion where you can see an old lady who, like, with the nose and the mouth, and who has like a bit of a scarf on, or you can see a young lady who is kind of looking, turned away, and the nose of the old lady is basically her like jawline, and we only see some eyelashes and a little bit of nose. And so our professor, what she would always say, here in this picture, you can always tell me you see an old woman if you're able to show me, look, here is the nose, here is the mouth, here are the eyes, blah, 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 okay? Or you can tell me, no, I see a young woman, look, because I see like a young lady, because look, here is her jawline, here is her nose, here is her hair, blah, 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 all of that, right? And she's gonna be fine with that, right? But if you say, well, I see a giraffe, you better, you better show her where in this picture is a giraffe. And yeah, I thought that was a great example also when it comes to stories, when it comes to novels, when it comes to cinema, when it comes to theater, because like different people will see different things. But the thing is, it's always usually something that is there. And this is a way that you can talk about it. This is not something that because then some people say, oh, talking about what was in the movie, this is all completely subjective, and no one can ever say, ooh, what is really the symbolism of something or not. And that's not true, because yes, it's not like always 100% black and white, and that's great. That's why we love art, right? But it is always something like observable, something that you can find a way to articulate and locate. And yeah, I thought this example with the optical illusion was really a great way to demonstrate that from my professor. If this topic sounds interesting to you, I made a whole slightly longer video about rules in art, or rather, my idea is that there are no rules in art, but there are principles that can be observed. Yeah, so like if you want to dive deeper into that with me, I will just link it in the description below, and you're invited to check that out. Otherwise, yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think about this optical illusion example for debating various like forms of art. And yeah, I would also love to hear what are some of your best and worst experiences with literature professors. I think that's always fun to read about. Thank you so much for being here, for watching, for listening, and I will see you in the next one.